I never expected a random phone call on a Tuesday afternoon to change my life forever. I was sitting at my desk, answering emails, when an attorney called and asked if I was related to my late Uncle Robert. I told him yes, although I hadn't seen my uncle in years. The attorney then said something that made my heart stop. My uncle had passed away and left me an inheritance worth nearly $500,000. At first, I thought it was some kind of scam. Why would my uncle leave that much money to me? We weren't especially close anymore, but after several meetings and a mountain of paperwork, I learned it was completely real. My uncle had no children of his own, and according to his will, I was the primary beneficiary of his estate. The news felt unreal. I told my parents, and they were shocked but happy for me. We agreed to keep everything private until the legal process was complete. Unfortunately, secrets never stay secret for long in my family. Within 2 weeks, relatives I hadn't heard from in years suddenly started calling. My phone exploded with messages from cousins, aunts, and even distant relatives whose names I barely remembered. At first, they acted friendly. They congratulated me and asked how I was doing. But it didn't take long before the conversation shifted toward money. One cousin told me he had a can't-miss business opportunity and needed investors. An aunt explained that her house desperately needed repairs and hoped I could help. Another relative hinted that since the money came from a family member, it should be shared with the entire family. Every conversation somehow ended with someone asking for cash. Things got even worse when I politely started saying no. Suddenly, people who had been nice to me became angry. Family group chats filled with passive-aggressive comments. Some relatives claimed I had become greedy. Others said the money had changed me. The irony was unbelievable because I was still driving the same old car and living in the same apartment. The biggest betrayal came from my cousin Jake. We had grown up together and always considered each other brothers. One day he posted a message on Facebook without mentioning my name, but everyone knew it was about me. He wrote, "Money doesn't change people. It reveals who they really are." Hundreds of people liked the post, including several family members. That hurt more than I expected. A few weeks later, I received another package from the attorney. Inside was a handwritten letter from my uncle. It had been written months before his death and was meant to be given to me after everything was finalized. I sat down and read every word. In the letter, my uncle explained why he chose me. He said that over the years, most family members only contacted him when they needed something. But whenever I visited, I never asked for money or favors. We talked about life, sports, movies, and random memories. He said I treated him like family instead of an opportunity. Then I reached the final paragraph. He wrote, "This money is not a reward. It is a responsibility. Use it to build the life you want, not the life others demand from you." I must have read that sentence 10 times. For the first time since receiving the inheritance, I stopped feeling guilty. I realized that no matter what I did, some people would never be satisfied. If I gave away $10,000, they'd ask for $20,000. If I gave away $20,000, they'd ask for $50,000. So I made a decision. I paid off my debts, invested most of the money, bought a modest home, and saved the rest. I helped a few people who genuinely needed it, but only because I wanted to, not because they pressured me. Over the next year, several relatives stopped talking to me entirely. At first, it bothered me. Then I realized something important. The people who disappeared weren't upset about losing me. They were upset about losing access to my money. Today, years later, my life is stable and peaceful. I still keep my uncle's letter in a drawer and read it whenever I need a reminder. The inheritance gave me financial freedom, but it also taught me a lesson I'll never forget: money doesn't create family problems. It exposes the ones that were already there.